She's always been amazing, super outgoing, very friendly, loves her friends, her family. She's always been an amazing big sister. She's like a little mom, always has been. Very active. She started playing softball when she was 4. She's always been such a kind, loving, generous person, and she definitely did not deserve this.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Somebody just got stabbed right in front of Chubby's. This boy has just stabbed a girl.
You guys need to come quick.
We need an ambulance.
I'm so scared. You don't have to be scared.
17-year-old Madison Schemitz.
Madison Schemitz.
Madison Schemitz
was stabbed 15 times in the attack.
Outside Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra on Saturday.
The attack also sent her mother and a good Samaritan to the hospital.
Madison suffered a spinal cord injury.
She is now paralyzed from the chest down.
Kennedy Armstrong, he's a superhuman, probably one of the most incredible people I'll ever meet in my life. At the age of just 22, he ran and had to be picked up by an angel because it was so fast. And if you could hear the way that I scream, that's not something that anyone would just run to, and he did. And I thank God for him every single day. He definitely saved her life.
I mean, my mom is part of the reason that I'm alive today. I mean, she jumped in without hesitation. She's been with me every single second of every single day, and she's definitely my best friend and definitely the reason why I'm alive. I did know that she had also been hurt, but I don't think it had really set in how bad.
Both of the ligaments in my hand, one of them was cut completely in half and the other was cut to like a string, and then the muscles were cut away from my bone and my bone cracked on my left hand. So my thumb doesn't have the full range of motion that it used to. I got to see her at the hospital before she went into her first surgery. She told me I looked like a hot mess. So that's typical Madison, making jokes and being herself, and that made me feel better too. She had told me at the scene when she was laying on my lap that she couldn't feel her legs. And I said, it's okay, don't worry about it, everything's gonna be fine. But then after she got out of her second surgery and her doctor came in my room, it was probably 7 a.m, and he told me she was paralyzed, and he just sat on my bed and kept saying sorry, and I was screaming, crying. Oh, that was so terrible. And then I went to the ICU, and I walked into her room, and she woke up, and she looked at me, and she said, "I'm paralyzed, aren't I?" And I just started to cry. Later on, she said she didn't have time to cry because she had to focus on learning to walk.
As soon as I met her, I could already tell that spark that she had, really wanted to get better and be the best version that she could be at that time. But from day one, she was ready to work hard and ready to put in anything that we were gonna ask of her.
Sydney and Madison, they're energy matches. They are both get up and go, and anytime somebody declined therapy, Sydney would come to Madison's room and be like, "Hey, I have a free hour," and Madison would be like, "Let's go." And so the two of them friends, and they laughed and they made jokes, and that I think really played a big role in how Madison looked at therapy, because she was having fun, and it wasn't always sad or depressing. It was, Sydney made it fun for her.
I think that the therapy team, especially upstairs, they definitely got me through it. I think everybody in their own way had a huge impact on me and continue to still have a huge impact on me.
Every patient that comes here at the hospital with a traumatic spinal cord injury, we do an assessment called the ASIA, which is an international exam that determines kind of where that damage is in the spinal cord. And when we did that ASIA examination, she was not getting much muscle signals down past that level of injury, meaning into her legs.
We had already gone through the entire test. We did my whole right side, my whole left side, and then finally at like the very end when she told me to move my foot, I was moving it, and at that point I was already like upset because nothing was there, nothing was happening. So I was staring at the ceiling, and then I did it and it felt like something, and then she looks at me and she's like, "Did you feel that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Is it moving?" And she was like,
we're all like freaking out because, you know, she hadn't had any movement prior to that. So that was so special and just really served as a really big motivator for her, for all of us to just really recognize like the potential that she was going to have. And I have chills talking about that.
It was a pivotal point in my recovery for sure, especially for Sydney to believe in me that I could do it, even if it didn't look the prettiest, but she always pushed me to do and go above and beyond with things that I wouldn't have even thought that I could or couldn't do.
Madison progressed very rapidly. Every day we would see more and more return, which just brought more and more excitement to us, and, you know, eventually getting her to be able to stand with assistance, and then obviously progress towards walking.
She has goals, and she graduated. She had straight A's this year. She got to walk across the stage at her graduation, which was her goal from day one. We're in the pediatric day program, so she's in there with other children, but I'm watching her encourage these other kids, and I'm watching them looking up to her, and she's mentoring them, and it's just natural for her. It's not something that's asked of her. She's just naturally that person. It's really awesome to see, and it's exciting to think what she's going to do with her life, because she's naturally this awesome. She was meant to inspire people, and now she was just given a platform to do that.
One Love is a national nonprofit organization created by a woman named Sharon Love, whose daughter Yardley Love was tragically killed by her ex-boyfriend at the University of Virginia in 2010. She created the foundation as a way to provide life-saving education to young people all over the world about relationship abuse, domestic violence, all the signs to see, both good and bad. So it was almost immediate where I knew that this was something that I would invest myself in. And I think being an advocate for it is important in more ways than one, just because it is something that's so common and happens all the time. And I think that that's just shown itself through the last year, through everything with me. I mean, it's not something that happens every day to the people that you know. So when it does, it not only shakes you, it shakes the community, it shakes the people that you know. It's hard to just describe how supportive I felt like throughout the entire experience. But I mean, my close friends especially, they were there every second that they could, whenever they could, doing whatever they could.
She is truly the definition of resilience. She is an inspiration to our whole friend group, and I'm just so beyond proud of what she's accomplished and how she's taken everything thrown at her.
I am so proud of her because no one should have to go through what she's gone through, and she has done it so beautifully and so gracefully, and it's just impossible to not be proud of her. She's just everything I hope to be when I grow up.
I'm so proud of Madison for being this year's rehab champion, because she's so deserving of it, just based on everything that she's gone through and everything that she's put in to be where she is now. Just the extreme dedication to her recovery despite any barriers that may have gotten in her way.
It means the world to be this year's rehab champion for Brooks. I mean, these people have given me my life back and have helped me in more ways than I think that I could ever explain. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to not only accept the award, but to also have such incredible people as a part of my care team. I think saying thank you isn't enough, but thank you. I mean, you all have changed my life, impacted my life. I mean, I love you all so very deeply.
There's so much I want to say to Madison. She's just exceptional. She's definitely God's gift to me, and I'm so lucky I'm her mom. She's such a blessing, and she makes living worth it. She thinks about everyone before she thinks about herself.
Life right now is pretty good. I mean, I leave in August for college. I'm continuing my therapy. I'm working again. So it's going pretty good. I think I can come up with a new goal every day if I wanted. Right now, I think there's only up from here. I'm excited.